Hello friends, welcome to Tips and Tricks in Mathematics. This is for class 11 students and the topic of discussion is complex numbers. In previous class, we have seen that for a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, this quadratic equation will have real roots only if discriminant is greater than or equal to 0. What is discriminant? That is the term b square minus 4ac. And what happens if the discriminant is less than 0? If discriminant is less than 0, then we will have the imaginary roots. Let us try to understand this. Now consider a quadratic equation x square plus 1 equal to 0. We take 1 on RHS, so x square will be minus 1. So x will be square root of minus 1. So how do we get square root of minus 1? That is the question. So we define I equal to square root of minus 1. So that I square will be minus 1. So for the root of this equation will be I, because I square will become minus 1 plus 1 will be equal to 0. So it will be satisfied. So the root of this equation is a complex number called as I. We will discuss this further. What is a complex number? A complex number is a number that can be expressed in the form a plus bi. We can also write it as a plus ib. So what is a and b? A and b are the real numbers and I is an imaginary number. This, although a and b are real numbers, a is called the real part and b is the imaginary part of the complex number. Let us take few examples. Let us take example of 3 plus 2i. What does it mean? It has a real part 3 and imaginary part 2 because I is written along with this. Consider a complex number 5. It has only real part 5 and imaginary part 0. Consider another example of complex number minus 6i. This does not have a real part, so it is 0. The complex part is, or the imaginary part is minus 6. What are equal complex numbers? Now let us try to understand. Two complex numbers are equal if their real parts are equal and their imaginary parts are equal. So let us take two complex number a plus bi and c plus di. They are equal only if a is equal to c and b equal to d. So the real part must be equal and the imaginary parts also must be equal. Let us do addition of complex number a plus bi plus c plus di. So how do we add? We add the real parts a plus c and the complex or imaginary parts separately. So it will be a plus c and b plus di. Take example 2 plus 3i plus 1 plus 5i. We first add the real parts. 2 plus 1 which is 3. Similarly 3i plus 5i will be 8i. So similarly we also do subtraction of complex number. We do subtraction of the real part and also subtraction of the imaginary parts. So these are two complex number 2 plus 3i. We want to subtract minus 1 plus 5i. We remove the bracket. So this will be minus 1 minus 5i. So 2 minus 1 will be 1. So 3i minus 5i will be minus 2. So how do we multiply complex number? We multiply regularly, like if we have two complex number a plus bi, c plus di, we multiply each term of this by a and bi separately, like a normal mathematics term. So a into c will be ac, a into di which is adi, and bi into c which is bci, and bdi square. I square is minus 1, so it will be minus bd. So the real part will be AC minus BD and the imaginary part will be AD plus BC. I suggest you do not by heart this formula. You just multiply regularly and remember that I square is minus 1. So let us do this. 2 plus 3i into 1 plus 5i. We multiply this by 2 first. So 2 into 1 is 2. 2 into 5 is 10i. 3i into 1 is 3i. And 3i into 5i is minus 15i square, which is minus 15. So 2 minus 15 will be minus 13. 10 plus 3i will be 39. What is division of a complex number? Let us take two complex number a plus bi by c plus di. So we have to rationalize this first. Rationalize means we have to remove I from the denominator. How do we remove I? We multiply both terms by c minus di. Both terms we are multiplying by c minus di. So c plus di and c minus di will be c square minus d square. I square is minus 1. So this will become c square plus d square. And these terms we multiply in a regular fashion. Now let us find power of I. For example, I want to find I cube. So I cube can be written as I square into I. We always write in terms of I square because I square we are knowing it as minus 1. So we can write it as I square into I square is minus 1 into I is minus I. So what is I power 4 will be, again we write in terms of I square. So I square power square, which is minus 1 square, which is 1. So how to write I power 5? We write as I power 4 into I. So this is already you have seen is 1 into I is I. Well, how to write I power 6? I square power 3 minus 1 power 3, which is minus 1. So how do we write I power minus 1, which is 1 over I? We multiply both terms by I. We get I by I square, which is minus 1, so minus I. Similarly, I power minus 2, 1 by I square, which is minus 1, so 1 over minus 1 is minus 1. Let us understand what is modulus and conjugate of a complex number. Let us try to understand this. Here in the x-axis or the real axis, we contain the real part of the complex number x. So this is real axis, this is imaginary axis. We are trying to represent a complex number z equal to x plus iy. How do you represent in a graph? That is the question here. So in the x-axis, it will be the real axis, y-axis will be the imaginary axis. So the real part is x, that is this distance. Imaginary part will be y, this distance. This point can be represented as x plus iy. And what is r? This point O or 0 is the origin. So coordinates of origin are 0 and 0. So r is the magnitude of this complex number z equal to x plus iy. So r is given as mod of z or the modulus of z. This is called magnitude of the complex number or the modulus of the complex number. This is equal to square root of x square plus y square. What is x and y? They are the real and imaginary parts of the complex number. So what is conjugate? Conjugate means this is the conjugate. So z bar, it is written as z bar is equal to x minus iy. We negate the imaginary part. So if a complex number is given by z equal to x plus iy, its conjugate will be given by z bar, which is equal to x minus iy. This particular diagram we call it as Argand diagram. This is very important and you must remember these formulas. Friends, with this we conclude this video. Please like and subscribe my channel so that in future videos can be released to you instantaneously. Thank you very much, friends.